Sometimes it's not makeup that makes us look older. It's the quiet habits we carry each day, the things we don't even notice because they feel so natural. A skipped glass of water, a night of restless sleep, a forgotten scarf on a cloudy morning. These may seem small, but over time, they quietly leave their mark on our skin, our posture, and the light in our eyes. Beauty after 60 doesn't need to be manufactured. It needs to be supported from within, gently and honestly. And yet, so many senior women unknowingly adopt daily routines that slowly take away the very vitality they wish to preserve. Not because they don't care, but because no one told them the little things matter more than ever. In this video, we'll explore 6 natural beauty mistakes that are making women over 60 appear older. Not through harsh makeup or bad fashion, but through habits that feel invisible. Along the way, you'll hear real stories, elderly wisdom, and simple changes that bring back glow, softness, and confidence. Because here at Elderly Reflections, we believe that true senior beauty is about honoring yourself, not hiding yourself. Subscribe and turn on notifications to receive more quotes, inspiration, and life lessons from the elderly. The first natural beauty mistake is one of absence, not action, not drinking enough water. It sounds too simple to matter, but the truth is, hydration is the foundation of every healthy, radiant face. After 60, the body's natural thirst signals weaken, and many women stop drinking water regularly, not out of neglect, but routine. Some are afraid of getting up at night. Others simply don't feel thirsty like they used to. And yet, their skin feels it, quietly, steadily. It dries from within. Fine lines deepen, skin tone dulls. The plump softness around the eyes begins to vanish. What once looked like grace now resembles fatigue, and few trace it back to something so basic. Eleanor, 76, from Oregon, had never worn foundation. Her beauty was always quiet and natural, rosy cheeks from morning walks, clear skin from years of simple living. But by 74, something changed. "I looked gray," she said. Her lips cracked even in summer. Her eyes, once bright, seemed clouded. She assumed it was age, until her granddaughter asked during a visit, "Grandma, why does your skin look thirsty?" That question led to a startling realization. She was drinking barely 2 cups of water a day. No tea, no soups, no juicy fruits, just dry meals and dry days. Together, they created a plan. 1 glass in the morning, 1 mid-afternoon, and warm lemon water after dinner. Eleanor began slicing cucumbers into pitchers, keeping herbal teas in a thermos by her chair. It wasn't dramatic, but it was consistent. Within 3 weeks, her skin glowed again. "I didn't buy anything new," she said. "I just gave my skin what it had been asking for." That glow wasn't just about appearance, it was about feeling alive. But hydration isn't just about the skin, it affects everything: memory, energy, mood. The elderly body, often slowed by medication and metabolism, depends more than ever on fluid to keep systems running. Without it, joints ache, digestion weakens, the face slackens, memory fuzzes, mood dips, and all the serums in the world won't fix what water could have prevented. This is elderly wisdom. The most powerful act of self-care often begins with a glass of water and the courage to give ourselves what we lost along the way. The second mistake is even more deeply rooted in our routines: not getting restorative sleep. Aging women often accept sleep disruption as part of growing older. They toss and turn, rise in the dark, and fill the quiet with TV, books, or worry. But poor sleep doesn't just make mornings harder. It erodes beauty quietly, layer by layer. It shows in puffy lids, sallow tone, a dragging jawline, a permanent look of weariness. Worse, it changes how women see themselves. They withdraw, they smile less, they move slower, not because of physical decline, but emotional depletion. Martha, 69, from Dublin, had always loved the early hours, but when she stopped working, the nights felt longer, lonelier. Her sleep broke into pieces, 2 hours here, an hour there. It felt like I was floating between naps, she said. She stopped brushing her hair in the morning. She avoided her mirror. Friends said she looked tired, even dull. Doctors offered pills, but she wanted something deeper. Through a local senior wellness circle, she discovered a sleep ritual program. No screens after 7. A short journal entry before bed, just a line about gratitude or one joyful memory. Stretching in candlelight, swapping coffee for soothing cinnamon tea, hanging blackout curtains. Most unexpectedly, she began reading poetry aloud, to herself. Simple, rhythmic verses that soothed her mind. On the evening of her 3rd day, she slept for 6 hours straight. The first full night of sleep came 2 weeks in. I cried in the morning, she said. I didn't know how much I missed feeling awake. Martha's mornings transformed. Her face regained color, her posture lifted. She laughed again at silly jokes. Her husband noticed a lightness in her presence. Like a song returned, he said. She found her smile again, not cosmetic, but emotional. And with it, a reflection she recognized. Scientifically, sleep is when the body heals. Growth hormone repairs tissue. The brain processes emotion. Collagen production peaks. And for older women, that restoration is vital, not for vanity, but for vitality. No cream can replace it. No massage can replicate it. Beauty isn't skin deep. It's threaded into the fabric of sleep, mood, and self-trust. Both of these beauty mistakes, ignoring water and neglecting deep sleep, aren't visible in the moment. They unfold over weeks and months, etching themselves into our reflections. They blur the spark in the eyes, harden the lines around the mouth, flatten the light that once danced across our faces. But here's the most powerful truth. Both are reversible, gently, honestly, without shame. Because beauty after 60 isn't about performance. It's about returning to what our bodies always needed, what they still know how to receive, and what our souls have been quietly craving all along. The third natural beauty mistake isn't just a cosmetic oversight. It's an invisible, daily exposure. Not protecting mature skin from chronic sun damage, especially on overcast days or in cooler months. The myth persists that if you don't feel hot or see the sun, you're safe. But UVA rays, the ones responsible for deep cellular aging, penetrate clouds, glass, even snow. Unlike UVB, which burns, UVA works silently, breaking down collagen, altering skin texture, and leading to visible signs of aging that appear subtly but unmistakably. Clara, 71, from Vermont, was never a beach person. She didn't sunbathe, didn't vacation in the tropics. She simply walked every morning through her wooded trail, barefaced, at peace, breathing fresh air. But by 70, her cheeks showed signs she couldn't explain. Uneven pigmentation, leathery texture, faint brown blotches that seemed to multiply each autumn. At first, she thought it was just dry skin, but no amount of lotion worked. My face looked like it had weathered 100 winters, she said. A dermatologist gently explained. Every cloudy morning walk, every shaded garden afternoon had allowed UVA to sink deep without resistance. She was shocked. But I never got a tan, she insisted. The truth was harder to digest. She had been aging her skin daily, quietly. That diagnosis shifted Clara's entire mindset. She found a mineral SPF formulated for sensitive skin, kept it by the front door, and applied it each morning, rain or shine. She invested in a soft-brimmed hat that became her signature look, and even kept driving gloves in the car to protect her hands. She wasn't hiding from the sun. She was meeting it with respect. Within months, her skin stopped worsening. A calm smoothness returned. I don't want to look younger, she said. I want to age like I mean it. Clara's story is a reminder. protection isn't fear. It's wisdom in action. Experts agree that postmenopausal skin is more vulnerable. Reduced estrogen thins the dermis, weakens collagen bonds, and lessens the skin's own sun resilience. Daily SPF isn't vanity, it's medical common sense. And yet, many senior women skip it out of habit or misunderstanding. Today, products exist that feel like nothing on the skin. Tinted SPF balms, breathable fluid sunscreens, formulations that double as makeup primer. The hardest part is remembering, but once it becomes habit, sun protection isn't a chore. It's a quiet promise to your future self. That's the heart of elderly wisdom. The fourth mistake often happens in private. Subtle, gradual, and deeply felt. Not moisturizing enough or using moisturizers that no longer suit aging skin. After 60, skin loses more than moisture. It loses its internal scaffolding. Lipid production drops, ceramide levels decrease, collagen breaks down faster than it can rebuild. The result isn't just dryness, it's a kind of quiet collapse. And yet, many women still rely on the same old lotion they used for decades, often something lightweight, scented, or meant for oily skin. The body has changed, the formula hasn't. Janelle, 68, from Lyon, used to pride herself on her no-fuss beauty routine. A splash of cold water, a few sprays of rose mist, and a dab of almond oil if needed. But at 66, she noticed something strange. Her skin no longer rebounded. It looked thin, creased. Her cheeks stung in cold wind. Even a kiss on the forehead from her grandson left a faint red mark. Her granddaughter, in dermatology school, noticed first. "Your skin looks like it's running on memory," she said. That gentle observation changed everything. They rebuilt her ritual from scratch. A creamy, non-foaming cleanser, a hyaluronic acid serum layered under a ceramide-rich barrier cream, and a facial oil massaged in at night. "It felt like I was feeding my skin a meal," Janelle said. Within a week, the itching stopped. By the third week, her cheeks looked plumper, but the biggest shift was emotional. She began touching her face again. "I had avoided mirrors for years," she confessed. "Now I lean in, I smile." Science supports Janelle's transformation. Moisturizing mature skin restores lipid balance, improves barrier function, prevents micro tears, and reduces inflammation. It's not about looking younger, it's about preserving integrity. Hydrated skin moves more easily, accepts touch, heals faster. For many women, it rekindles a sense of ownership over their bodies, after years of feeling like they were slowly fading. The deeper lesson? These two mistakes, neglecting sun protection and overlooking proper moisturization, aren't about vanity. They're about visibility, presence, and respect. Not for the world, but for ourselves. They remind us that senior health and senior beauty are one and the same, signs that we are still paying attention to what the body needs. And at Elderly Reflections, we believe that beauty is a living thing. It grows with care, softens with presence, and shines most clearly when nurtured, not corrected. There's a quiet kind of nostalgia that lives in the bottom of every makeup bag, a color we once loved, a routine we once followed like a morning prayer. For many senior women, eye makeup holds memory of date nights, promotions, weddings, holidays. It's more than cosmetic. It's a link to identity. And yet, the next mistake begins here. Clinging to outdated eye makeup styles long after they've stopped flattering the present version of ourselves. In younger years, dramatic black mascara and bold eyeliner offered definition, power, elegance. But as we age, the skin around our eyes softens. Lids droop, lashes thin. What once looked confident may now look harsh. And the real heartbreak? We don't see it. Not because we're blind, but because we're loyal. Loyal to a version of beauty that once worked. Agnes, 73, from Manchester, wore deep navy eyeliner every day since 1984. That color, for her, was identity. It made me feel sharp, she said, like I could cut through a room just by blinking. But as the years passed, her eyes began to look tired, heavier, almost sad. She didn't notice at first, until her daughter, a gentle but honest makeup artist, looked at her one afternoon and said, "Mom, what if we tried soft brown today?" Agnes resisted. She laughed. "This Navy has outlasted 3 jobs, 2 husbands, and my menopause." But curiosity won. They sat together, tried brown pencil along the upper lash line, a hint of matte taupe shadow, and soft mascara on curled lashes. When Agnes looked in the mirror, she gasped, not because she didn't recognize herself, but because she did. "I still look like me," she said. "Just me without the armor." That's what outdated makeup becomes after a certain age. Armor, a defense against feeling invisible, a way of saying, "Don't forget me." But here's the shift. When makeup no longer highlights your features, it starts hiding them. And hiding your light is the opposite of what aging gracefully should mean. Science supports this too. The skin around the eyes loses collagen and elasticity more rapidly after menopause. Dark pigments can sink into creases, smudge into shadows, and accentuate puffiness or sagging. Heavy liner draws attention downward. Thick mascara clumps on thinning lashes. But when adjusted, when we listen to the face we have now, miracles happen. Soft liners lift. Neutral shadows reflect light. A thin coat of lengthening mascara brightens the eye. And the most beautiful part? You don't look made up. You look alive. This transition doesn't mean abandoning beauty. It means evolving it. Eye makeup after 60 should frame the gaze, not burden it. Think warm browns, gentle taupes, or muted plum for those with cooler tones. Avoid shimmer on crepey lids. Go for soft matte or satin finishes. Use a lash curler to open the eye, and apply mascara just at the roots to avoid weight. Skip the lower lash line. It often creates drag, not drama. What happens emotionally when we update our routine? Something subtle, something sacred. As women begin to see themselves clearly again, their posture changes. Their smiles return. They begin to show up, not just in the room, but in their own life. Like Agnes, who now sits by her mirror each morning with a soft classical track playing, applying makeup not to fight age, but to honor it. "I'm still here," she says, "and this is the face that got me here." Beauty after 60 is not about appearing younger. It's about looking like someone who knows herself. And when your eyes are softly framed in a way that lets your expression breathe, people don't just see your makeup, they see you. There's a kind of aging that no mirror shows until it's already happened. It's not about wrinkles, sagging, or texture. It's about stillness, the final mistake, emotional withdrawal, the quiet fading of facial expression, joy, connection. It begins invisibly. A canceled lunch, a week without a smile. The voice lowers, eyes dim, and the face, though unchanged in structure, begins to disappear, not because of age, but because the spirit inside has started to pull back. Rose, 78, from Maine, was known for her smile. She had a laugh that filled kitchens, a warmth that lit up rooms. But after her husband passed, she slowly retreated. "At first, I just didn't feel like talking," she said. "Then I didn't feel like going. Then I didn't feel like being seen." Her family noticed the change. Her granddaughter whispered, "Grandma, it's like your light is sleeping." What they didn't know is that Rose had stopped looking in the mirror. "It felt like looking at a guest who had overstayed their welcome," she said. No cream or serum could fix what was happening, not to her skin, but to her sense of self. This emotional withdrawal shows up in subtle ways. Fewer expressions, stiffer smiles, eyes that no longer linger. And over time, it ages the face faster than any physical factor. The muscles around the mouth weaken. Forehead lines deepen from constant frowning. cheeks hollow, not from fat loss, but from lack of movement. And worst of all, the person in the mirror stops feeling like someone worth tending to. But Rose's story didn't end there. One morning, her neighbor, a woman 10 years younger, knocked with a small gift, a printed quote that read, "Your joy is not gone, it's just waiting to be welcomed back." That quote sat on Rose's windowsill for days before she read it aloud, and something in her cracked open. She started saying one kind word to herself each morning, started humming while washing dishes, started texting short good mornings to her grandchildren, and slowly the light returned. Science tells us that facial expression is deeply tied to neural activity and emotional well-being. Smiling, even artificially, can trigger dopamine and serotonin release. Laughter boosts immune response. Eye contact activates social bonding. Emotion fuels circulation in the face, which affects tone, elasticity, and vibrancy. In other words, joy makes you look younger, not because of vanity, but because of vitality. How can women over 60 begin this journey back? It starts with permission. Allow the grief. Acknowledge the loss. But don't unpack and live in the quiet forever. Create daily rituals of emotional presence. Speak a quote aloud each morning, even if it's just one line that makes you breathe deeper. Smile at yourself in the mirror, not to judge, but to recognize. Send one message a day to a grandchild, a sibling, a friend. Play music from a decade you loved, and hum, sway, move. Join or start a reflection circle, weekly coffee chats with peers to exchange stories and laughter. These aren't just social habits. They are restorative acts of beauty. Because a glowing face isn't made by product. It's made by presence, by the warmth of connection, by the return of identity. Rose's journey didn't involve makeup. She didn't change her hairstyle. But a month into her reawakening, her niece came to visit and said, "Grandma, your face looks full again." And Rose smiled. Not because she looked younger, but because she felt seen. Emotional withdrawal is the quietest of all the mistakes, but also the most reversible. And at Elderly Reflections, we know that the most powerful facelift isn't surgical, it's spiritual. It's when the heart begins to trust its place again. Growing older isn't a descent, it's an unfolding. A quiet blooming of truths once buried beneath rush and responsibility. And when we talk about beauty after 60, we're not chasing youth. We're reclaiming presence. Every line, every shift in texture, every change in tone, it all speaks of love carried, of storms survived, of moments treasured. But amidst these layered stories, there's still a need for care, not from a place of fear, but of reverence. These 6 natural beauty mistakes, hydration, sleep, sun care, nourishment, soft expression, and emotional openness, aren't surface-level tips. They're invitations to return to ourselves, to meet our reflection not with critique, but with compassion. Maybe today, you'll pour that extra glass of water, not because it's a rule, but because it's a gift. Maybe you'll finally switch out the heavy eyeliner and see yourself soften. Maybe, just maybe, you'll laugh, loud and unfiltered, for the first time in months. And in that moment, you'll glow. Not because you applied something, but because you allowed something. Joy, light, life. At Elderly Reflections, we believe that senior health, inspiration, and life lessons from the elderly aren't meant to be whispered. They're meant to be lived out loud. We carry quotes, memories, and resilience in our voices. And beauty, true beauty, after 60 is about being seen, not just by others, but by ourselves. So, if this video stirred something in you, if it reminded you that your reflection still holds meaning, I invite you to join our community. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, share it with a sister, a friend, a neighbor who's forgotten how radiant she still is. And tell us in the comments, where are you watching from today? What beauty have you rediscovered lately? because your story is not over. And we're here, watching it unfold, one soft, luminous reflection at a time,